This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Welcome to Speak Up, another episode of Speak Up Effective Communication. This is the Aftermarket show that is aimed at making sure we are developing our communication and leadership skills. We are stretching ourselves and growing here all the time. And I have a special guest with me today who is on a growth journey himself, who I have enjoyed talking to immeasurably over these last couple of months specifically. With me today is Darrin Mallett from Kilgore Auto. Hi, Darrin.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing great. So, hey, give us a little bit about you, just a brief bio of Darrin. Name of your shop, how long you've been in the business, a few details like that.
Well, I've been in the business about 9 years at Kilgore Tire and Auto Care here in Kilgore, Texas. 9 years. When I come into this business, I knew zero about it. Literally came in first day, started looking at tires, selling tires, learning about tires. And at lunchtime, I walked out to my truck and thought, I wonder what size tires I have on my truck. And so that's what, in the size and the, all terrains, whatever it was. And so that's how much I knew about it. And I come in as president of the company. And so I had to learn it all. And it was just like by a water hose. So that's
how we learn in this business, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And don't feel bad, Darrin. I was in a transmission shop for years. Although I was born in the industry, I knew very little of tire vocabulary for a long, long time. I could rebuild transmissions before we even got into tires. And so people coming into the tire business, I just have so much respect for what you do actually have to learn, where the rubber meets the road. But hey, folks, we have a great conversation today for a number of reasons. But primarily it's this. When I started talking with Darrin, we were meeting related to AutoFlow and software leveraging in my normal day-to-day. And what we started off with in our conversations, Darrin, I remember this very well, there was just, I can't even remember the specific topic because we're both the type of guys that'll get into the weeds sometimes. But we were using a similar vocabulary on growth. And man, I had just finished reading Scarcity Brain by Michael Easter. And I asked if you had read that book, and you had said yes. And then we started talking about The Comfort Crisis, also by Michael Easter, which is the book I got into rucking because of. And for me, those types of conversations that come up organically, I just appreciate them so much.
Yeah, I got my rucksack. Yeah, I do it every once in a while. Yes.
How much weight you putting in yours now?
About 30 pounds.
Yep, 30 pounds. That's the daily driver for me too. And the Go Rucks, they have the Rucker 4.0 pack with a 30-pound plate. And no, that's a good workout, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It adds to you.
It does. That's the whole point on growth. All right. Well, hey, before we dive into the meat of our conversation, let's first take a quick break and hear from our sponsors, whom we love, and make this entire thing possible. Ready to elevate your shop? Join the 2025 Institute Summit in sunny Amelia Island, Florida. You'll see unmatched speakers, actionable insights, and exclusive networking. For more information, visit wearetheinstitute.com/summit. AutoFlow is your partner in technology. With AutoFlow, enhance your client interactions in a single thread before, during, and after the visit. To see how AutoFlow makes it simple, visit AutoFlow.com. Are you tired of juggling multiple tools to manage your auto repair shop? Say goodbye to the chaos and hello to streamlined efficiency with AutoLeap, the #1 all-in-one auto repair shop management software. With AutoLeap, you can sell more, save precious time, and delight your customers with every interaction. Your trusted companion, ShopDog Marketing, is right by your side, attracting the best customers and building long-term growth. Call ShopDog Marketing today or visit shopdogmarketing.com. Unlock your communication insights with Inbound's AI-powered call analytics for auto repair shops. Learn more at callinbound.com. Okay, we're back and we're with Darrin Mallett, and today's topic we are talking about growth. And like I said before our break, one of the things I appreciate the most is like when you're reading, you're growing. And when you're reading and you've grown and you're using a new vocabulary with things, as you go out into the world, the real treat is when you are just having a normal, organic conversation with another individual you happen to be working with, and you find yourselves using that same vocabulary. And Darrin, I got to hear so much about your growth journey as a result of our following conversations. And that's what I wanted to bring to this audience today, because I feel like you're living exactly the type of mindset here that we want to encourage, not just for communication skills, but as a leader of your organization.
Yes, and definitely. This year is a big year for me to grow, actually probably more than ever in my life.
More than ever. And you've described for me a couple of things that were a catalyst for your growth. And that's one of the things that I was really hoping to hear from you, or hoping for you to share, I should say, with our audience.
First part of 2023, I wouldn't say health, but there was just a point where I was about 80 pounds heavier than I am now. I was just eating all the time. In America, we're told to eat and eat more, and that's what's going to make you happy. So that's what I was doing. I was eating more, and I just got to a point that I was unhappy with myself. So there's a change there that happened. I started eating better, eating less, decided to go out and start exercising. I remember the first time going around the block a mile, and I thought, oh, could I ever make it a mile? And now I can do 4, 7, whatever miles, and it's like not hard at all. And here I am now, 52 years old. So at that age, it's, time. So, but anyway, I did that. I got about April. For that, I'm in a 20 group, and these guys were talking about this leadership class to go to. They were telling me, I said, well, tell me about it. And they said, it's a good thing. Go to it, change your life. And I said, okay. So I signed up, went in April here in Texas. They're based out of the Discover Leadership out of Texas with Mike Jones. And I went there April, and I went in and come out a much different person, on fire for growth, change, things like that. I mean, at my age, at 50, you get that midlife crisis type thing. And so instead of going out and buying a Corvette and getting a divorce, I decided to do a little growth.
You came out of that conference. Now, were you attending that with your wife, or?
No. It's a, one-on-one, and it's not really a conference. It's just, you go there. It's for 4 days. You stay there with all 4 days. And my wife went later. Yeah. And my wife, when I come home, I told her, I said, hey, this is going to be a great thing to do. I want you to go. And she said, heck no, I'm not going. She goes, I don't need all that. I'm not a leader of a company or anything like that, so I'm good. So she finally went, and her aspect on it now is much different. She told me the other day, she says, thank you for sending me to this. She goes, it was a gift that I'll never be able to repay you.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's precious. This is where I was going with this. I remember when you were telling me about this too. It's like, because here you are, you go to this conference initially, you go back home changed. The first person who's going to notice this, no doubt, is going to be your loved ones. Yeah. So what was that like?
Well, it was kind of funny because, even here at work, boy, they just thought, what in the world is going on with this guy?
Oh, yeah. The work team too. Yes.
Yes. Just, I had more fire. I was more open. Before I went, I was a people pleaser. That's the way I viewed my life. That was the system that I had. And so coming back out, that changed for me. Not that I don't care what people, my loved ones and everything need and want, things like that. But to have that burden lifted off of me, that I had to make everybody happy, because I can't make anybody happy. It's up to themselves to make themselves happy.
Yeah, at some point there. But yeah, your team is noticing you're on fire. Now, this is one of the things I get to go to a lot of training events, and it's become something of a caveat that we have to remind people in some of the training courses for. Is like, all right, you're going to go back. You're going to want to implement all this stuff. How are you going to do that with your team without overwhelming them or causing whiplash for them? Because we are oftentimes coming back changed from these events where growth is the idea, and no one else knows how to engage us with that. Me and Chris, my boss at AutoFlow, we talk about the book Change or Die. I referenced this in a recent episode on reframing. That is one of the 3 keys to change. The first is relate. Second is repeat. Then it's reframe. Those 3 keys are necessary. The relate piece is what we're talking about here with what you described, because usually it's new relationships initially. You go to this event, you see something new, and then, well, now you're going to go back to the people that you've been around our familiar relationships. And those become foundational still. You still need those, but now you have to be able to translate what you're going to do next. How do we communicate this growth with our team? What was the necessary steps for you to keep your team on fire as well as you were without burning out?
Well, I mean, part of this training, positivity is part of it. And so coming back in a positive manner and keeping that positive manner, people, when you walk into a room, if you believe it or not, you bring aura to that room or the sense. So as a leader, if I walk in and somebody says, "Hey, good morning," I go, "Yeah, good morning." No, good morning. Good morning, guys. Good to see you. Oh, you just don't understand. No, it's good morning. Hey, we get to come to work today. One of the things, as far as reframing, that's one of the things I learned. Instead of saying I can, I say I will. There's a big difference between I can and I will. And so that was one of the things that I learned. But when I come back in, being more vocal, open, we used to have a problem here at Kilgore Tire in Auto Care, people coming in late. So the story we would tell ourselves, the conversation we would tell ourselves, it's because they're quote, quote, millennials, or they weren't raised this way, or, kids nowadays, all this stuff. And we say that, but the problem was me. It was the expectation that if they were late, oh, well, I mean, it was on them, but I had to take accountability myself on there. So it took a little time of just, what time are we supposed to be here? This is what time I expect you to be here. Gain some agreement. Hey, tomorrow, be here on time. Yes, sir. And now we don't have that problem. I mean, every once in a while you'll have a guy here and there a minute or two late or something like that. But for the most part, we don't have a problem with that. And it was because of what change I had. And so I hear people all the time, just different excuses. And it's excuses is what it is. So that was one of the biggest things that they saw immediately. When you have a supervisor or quote, quote, leader that is a people pleaser, that's not a good thing. And that's where I was at. And so I changed that.
Would you agree with this then? Like, it is harder, I think, to hold others accountable if you yourself are not perceived as holding yourself accountable?
Yes. The way that I looked at it before is I know nobody's perfect. I used that as I lowered my standard with that, if that makes sense. Oh, well, I know it's not perfect, or hey, I don't want to drive too fast and get in a wreck on the way to work or something like that. But it's not that. I mean, if a person wants to be on time, they'll be on time. It's a choice. And that's the whole thing. It's a choice. I mean, if you say 280 days out of the year, if you're late 3, then oh well, or 5. But if you're late half of that, it's your choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I've often heard some people refer to leadership and even accountability as like, leadership is getting to people to do the things you want them to do for their reasons. No, this is interesting because, you used one example. I know a lot of shops plagued with that sort of issue too, and you hit a lot of the excuses. But I think it all comes down to the discomfort of accountability. This is another thing that I talked about with my boss, Chris, on our episode, even on feedback, delivering feedback to another individual. It's one of the more challenging things that leaders come across, but there's other barriers to growing as a leader. And I'd be curious to hear what barriers you experienced while you're on this growth journey.
Well, coming from being a people pleaser, when you're not pleasing certain people, you're like, wait a minute. No. I don't want this. I want you to get back in that down there where you were at. There's no, and you see it a lot in weight loss. You'll have people come up, and I did after losing 80 pounds. They're like, are you okay? Are you sick? Something like that, but, or it would be, well, you don't need to lose any more weight, whatever it might be.
We love you as you are is what they're trying to communicate. And that's well-intentioned.
Well, either that, or I don't want you to prove to me that I could do this.
Oh, boy. Yeah, absolutely. It puts pressure on those around you. And then they wonder, perhaps, are they being judged that you care for this thing now? Are they going to have to do this as well?
Yeah. So one of the barriers is just the people around you. They don't want you to grow. I mean, if you stay where you're at, then you're not raising the bar. It's like, stay there. Another one is just yourself. I mean, it's a conversation you have in your head. I can't do this, things like that. I'm not able to, all those different conversations you have. And there's one comment that I make to myself is check that conversation. Say, for example, sometimes people, in their brain, they'll sit there and think, well, I'm going to have like you were saying, delivering that hard conversation. That's one thing that I had to learn as a leader. That's my job, to have hard conversations. So I have to, because of being a people pleaser, I have to say that to myself. I'm about to have a hard conversation, and that's my job. So I walk up to that person and have that conversation. That's my job, to do that. And to do that, it's definitely difficult for people to understand the change in you when you are able to do that.
What sets the best shops apart? It's their commitment to growth. At the 2025 Institute Summit, you'll learn from industry-leading speakers, participate in powerful breakouts, and discover the secrets to standing out in today's competitive landscape. February in Amelia Island, Florida is where you need to be. Reserve your spot now at wearetheinstitute.com/summit. Don't miss out on rubbing shoulders with the best in the industry. Hey friends, as you know, I'm a proud member of the AutoFlow team, and let me tell you, we've changed how business is done for auto shops everywhere. We support your client experience before, during, and after the work is done. Imagine this: timely updates sent directly to your clients, branded digital vehicle inspections, and seamless communication from start to finish. That's why shops love AutoFlow. And hey, with those 5-star reviews rolling in, you'll wonder how you ever managed without us. Take an important next step and take your auto shop to the next level. Visit www.autoflow.com. Get on board with an AutoFlow trial. Say goodbye to the chaos and hello to streamlined efficiency with AutoLeap, the #1 all-in-one auto repair shop management software. No more headaches, no more wasted hours, just smooth operations and happy customers. But hey, don't take our word for it. Experience the magic for yourself. So what are you waiting for? Head over to AutoLeap.com and book a demo today. Let AutoLeap revolutionize the way you do business. Do it all with AutoLeap. AutoLeap, where efficiency meets excellence. AutoLeap is by your side every step of the way. Ready to boost your auto repair shop's success? ShopDog Marketing is here to help you. We put customers first using AI to create standout content that ranks. Harness the power of mobile first and voice search and let our expert team help you sweeten your revenue with more car count. ShopDog Marketing offers a free guide on using AI to drive more repair orders. Get your guide today and watch your auto repair shop thrive. Visit shopdogmarketing.com. Every professional auto repair shop needs a trusted communication partner. At Inbound, our established VoIP platform is backed by years of industry experience, guarantees reliable connections, and is combined with cutting-edge AI-powered analytics. We deliver actionable insights that support your business growth. With Inbound, you get more than just calls. You get a smarter, more efficient operation. Get Inbound on your team today and see how we can transform your business. Visit callinbound.com. And my kids, I ask them to go for a walk with me all the time when I throw my rucksack on. And like, who's going to go this time with me? A lot of times I can get them to go. A lot of times I am unsuccessful in it. And I always try to keep it very positive, though, and not feel like, oh, if you don't go, then this bad thing and all this stuff. But try to make them want to do it. But what I enjoy the most is they get to see me consistently do something new. And it's that consistency that I hope will start to continue to encourage them to do it as well. My wife's my most frequent walking buddy, and we enjoy it.
Well, and that's one thing with me is one reason for this growth that I want to accomplish out of this is my granddad. For example, he born 1913, smoking cigarettes was the biggest thing. And he smoked for literally about 60 years altogether. He went to the doctor. Doctor told him, said, hey, if you want to see your great grandkids, you'll lay them down. If you don't, just keep on smoking. That's just what the story he told me. So he went in there that day, gave away 3 cartons of cigarettes, last time he ever smoked. He was 65 years old at the time. Cold turkey. What that told me, or later on in life, when I would start doing things, I would go, he did it, I can do it. And so what you're doing there is leaving your legacy with your kids. Even if they may not go out today and go rucking, one day they're going to look and say, my dad did it. I mean, I went to college, and part of my thinking of college is if I do it, my kids know that they can do it. And so it's that legacy that I'm leaving.
No, I love your perspective on it. And yeah, that's just it. Like, if dad can do it, so can I. I would hope that every young person can say that about their father as much as I can. And that when you look at it, this growth journey, anyone on it, I'm not doing it just for myself and my benefit. I made a choice. I wanted to be around long enough. Blood sugar's naturally high in my family. We're sweet people. But the exercise that I need to do in order to keep blood sugar at a normal level is quite a lot, and a little bit more than the average person needs to do. And I can either embrace that and turn it into something positive or not. And it's going to be necessary genetically, I feel like, probably anyways, for my kids as well. And that example has to get set, despite the fact that some days you just don't want to go walk in the snow or the rain or the cold here in Michigan.
One of the things, my mom passed away when she was 38 with cancer. And my dad was 66 when he passed away. So I looked at one time in my life, I looked at it as I was going to be a victim of cancer. Now I've changed that. And one of the things I tell people all the time, they say, why are you going to the gym? Why are you eating like that? People ask that. And I said, I'm going to be around every day. I feel like that I eat right, exercise is another day opportunity I get to be around for my grandkids. And they say, oh, okay. So, how old are your grandkids? And I said, they're not even born yet. I'm doing it for my grandkids. And so there's days or that motivation's not there. And when I'm there at the gym or cutting back on my eating, I think I'm doing it for my grandkids. It's another day I get a chance to be with them.
Yeah. Reminds me of a Cat Stevens song. Can't think of the title of it, but it's the lyrics something to the effect of, I got a thing about seeing my grandkids grow old. And it's a great little tune that gets stuck in my head sometime, and that going and getting healthy and doing that thing, and it's beautiful. How old are your kids, Darrin?
I have one that's 26 and one that is 29 and then one that is 22, just turned 22. So yeah, don't have them yet, but sooner or later.
Possibility in the near future. That will be exciting. Oh, yeah, I'm at this point in life, even my early 40s. My kids, my oldest is 19. I think that's just going to be a great phase of life, and similar mindset on it there. You want to make a lasting impact on generations of your line, then you got to get some stuff in line.
Yeah, and I want to be out there at the pool, throwing them and, having fun with them, and not the person that can't get in the pool, but I want to be the guy in the center of the pool throwing them and all that good stuff. So
that's a beautiful vision.
Yeah, go with them to their ball games and all that.
I think that kind of answers my next question to some extent, because the next question I would ask is, how do you grow? And I think you kind of answered, you have to have a vision.
Yes, you have to have a benefit. What benefit are you getting out of this? And you have to keep your eye on it. I mean, you look at a goal and you say, how is this going to benefit me? One of the things of coming back from Discover Leadership, one of the goals is to be more enthusiastic leader, to be I had several different ones doing it. And I wanted to be, for example, I've gotten 2 guys in here lately working for me, and they're master techs. And I've been looking for guys like this for years.
You and everyone. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And I was sitting there going, and one, I guess, fell in my lap. But the thing is they wouldn't have wanted to work for the other Darrin. Yeah. So, that's the thing. You have to be the leader that these guys want to work for. And for me, it's a positive work environment. We're going to work as a team and we're going to have some fun. That's just my thought process on it.
Darrin, I think that's one of the most beautiful answers I've heard to the technician shortage that is plaguing all shops. Is one of them is to become the leader that the right people need.
Right. Because you are the guiding force. And if you are negative and mad and always looking to scold somebody, some people like that, but that's not what the high productive people want. So I've offered Discover Leadership to every one of my employees.
So now you send them to the same thing that lit a fire in you.
Oh, yeah, because I want them to come back with that same fire. And it was funny because one of my new guys come in and I'm laying my expectations out. So I'm laying these out. And I'm talking to them about teamwork, positivity, accountability, things like that. I was giving an example of how that I messed up on a ticket. And I said, oh, the reason this happened was because of me. We were just talking about that. And that was part of me holding myself accountable. And so anyway, afterwards, the guy come up to me and he goes, hey, I think I want to go to that class that you went to. And I was like, okay. I said, you ready to go? And so they have one about every month for this whole year. I said, sign up because first come, first serve. So anyway, he's going in January.
My boss, Chris, he always has this quote. The gist of it is that people will respect you for your successes, but they will love you for your failures, especially if you own them, is the idea. And you learn and are growing from your own mistakes, aren't afraid to admit your mistake. And if you handle that process right, that's speaking volumes of your character to others around you, far more than this fake image of being perfect and the know-it-all or the this or that. It's just a great spot to be in. It sounds like just leading by an example and a simple mistake was inspiring enough.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's just holding yourself accountable and taking personal responsibility is what it is. So personal responsibility. I looked at that situation and I saw how I could have handled it better. And so I explained that to them because that's what I want with these guys. I mean, you've seen technicians come in, something go wrong, them say, well, it was a part or it was this or it was because of whatever it may be. I don't want that. Just tell me you made a mistake. Let's fix it. Let's get the customer out the door. That's all it's all about. I mean, I'm not going, but you have to create that kind of culture that they feel comfortable in being able to do that. But also know that you can't just goof off, that you got to be held accountable. But if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Let's move on.
Yeah. I was at a conference. There was a Coach Olson was the gentleman's name. He had a simple phrase that really stuck with me. When you make a mistake, admit it, fix it, don't repeat it. Real simple. And it's a great little line. One of my earlier episodes for the holiday season back around Thanksgiving, I thought about the layout, the way the holidays move. I'm never ready for the holidays. It seems like after Halloween, everybody's just bam. It's like Christmas now. And we skip right over things, all that nonsense. But hey, it starts with gratitude. Then we get into a season of giving. And now we get into new year and new growth. And I think this is a well-timed conversation because as we move into that new year, setting goals and attaining them, that's the challenge that we all face. And I've seen a number of people's like, I'm not even making any this year. Just hope it's better than last year. But I'd be curious what your perspective on that is. Is the new year a catalyst for you?
It is. And that's what it was for me last year. Actually, last year was the first time I ever wrote my goals down. I reflect back on it. The reason why is because once I write something or I commit something to myself, I'm going to do it, And so I was always told myself I was afraid to do it because I didn't want to write those goals down. However, reading The Comfort Crisis, it tells you make those stretch goals, do something that you wouldn't ever think that you could do.
The misogi in the book, right? Where he talks about the idea of a misogi, this challenge that has a 50% chance of failure. Like you are going to try this, you could do it, but you could also fail with equal probability. It's this Japanese notion of the misogi. So those of you who have not read The Comfort Crisis, I don't know if I've mentioned it enough in any of the recent episodes here, but that is a book you must read at this point right now in the year. If you're hearing this episode, pop on Amazon, pop wherever you go and get a book, The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. If you're looking for something that's going to challenge you in that new year, do that there. I guess, Darrin, did you have a misogi for your goal that you wrote down?
Not last year, I didn't. This year, I did. One thing that I want to do is go hiking more, but I'm thinking that there's a guy that's in my 20 group that they go hiking and they take their kids hiking. You're at a level that you could die on this, type of hike.
That kind of hike. Okay.
Yeah. But what they've learned with their kids is once their kids do it, their kids go, oh, we can do anything, anything. Because We just did that. So this year, one of my things that I used to tell myself was I couldn't speak in front of people. So this year it's something to speak in front of a large crowd. Oh my goodness. When I was in college, my legs would shake. I would just, oh goodness. I just read from the paper is what I do. I just read from the paper. And so that's my big one for this year.
You're speaking to my heart right now. This is one of the premises for this show is getting over this fear of public speaking. And me and my boss, Chris, we've recently found out our class for vision in Kansas City was accepted. For this year, we're doing an all-day speech workshop where that stage is reserved for the attendees. So if you get a chance to come up to Kansas City at the beginning of March, and you join us in that Speak Up class, my friend, we can help you with this goal. And it would be a great time. Oh, that's such a great goal. You should also pop in the Remarkable Results Toastmasters Club with Carm and Tracy, producers of this podcast. Just came off of a meeting today as well, since this is it's the third Thursday when we're recording this. That club, we meet online for an hour every couple of weeks, and you get to do planned speeches and work on that stuff. It's a wonderful goal, dude. Every time I meet someone who has that goal, dude, I'll burn our time today talking on this.
I always looked at my slow East Texas accent, like, oh, I can't. That was just a conversation I was having in my head, of doing that. And so that's exciting. I've grown. I actually had someone the other day tell my wife, said, oh, he's a good speaker. And I'm like, oh, really? I was like, that's crazy. But, I've listened to your podcasts and talk about why are you speaking? So it's just like this here. I mean, if one person can hear one thing and it makes a difference in their life, no matter how slow I speak, no matter what I say, if it makes a difference, then that's what it's for.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let me ask this, Darrin. What kind of topic do you think you would like to bring to an audience someday?
Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, this one on growth is one thing. In our 20 group, probably half or more than half people has went to this Discover Leadership. One person started it, they went, and then as we would go through it, we saw the change in them. They've told me that I've been the biggest change out of everybody so far. Now, that's what they've told me. I know that in growth, that's one thing about growth. Once you get to, and that's the way I looked at losing weight before. I've lost weight before, but I'd get to my goal and I didn't have nothing to sustain it. And so I met my goal and I started eating again. So this time it's not about physical look. It's about something long-term and measuring it, because one of the things you do is, after you start to eat more, you're like, oh, let's put the scale in the closet in there and things like that. Let's not measure that no more, and things like that. So that's another thing it's getting there in January 1st. We all know the gym's going to be full. It's when you March and April, May. But with me, with my goals right now, I get comfortable because I've stretched, and then I have to look for something bigger.
That's the renewal phase for any goal. Once you reach that goal, you just adjust it again. Darrin, I hit this multiple times. This year, I plan to ruck a 5K every day, and I've succeeded. I did a marathon this year. That was my Misogi for the year. It doesn't even feel like a Misogi anymore, because it's like, of course I could do that now, because your range constantly develops. But I didn't start with all of those goals. I started with the goal of just doing 1,000 miles for the year. But I hit that back in beginning around the third quarter or so. I can't remember exactly the date I hit that. I have it written down somewhere. I'm at 1270 something now. And yeah, we still got a few weeks to go. I think I will hit 1,300 without any problem.
One of my goals this year, what I wrote down, was 250 times checking in the gym. And I hit it yesterday. So 250 times in a year. That's not counting the weekends, walking or running. I did my first 5K last year. I did it again this year, so I had to beat my time from last year.
Wait, did you ruck or did you run?
I just run. I ran.
Okay, you're running slick.
I did it in about 26, 27 minutes. So for a 52-year-old, I was happy about that.
You bet it is.
So, yeah, the other day I was watching something on TV. I was telling my daughter about this. I said, they were talking about the New York Marathon. I thought, that sounds fun. And she just looked at me and she's like, really? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I could do it. No, I'm not going to say I couldn't, but it may be one day I may make that my bogey,
Yeah, dude. There's a couple of Go Ruck events I'm eyeballing too. They have some down in Texas too. And some of them are like a 12-mile ruck, and those sort of things are good entry point events for that activity. It's so interesting though, because once you start having these types of goals and then you start looking for those types of events, then you find yourself in a community of other people on the same type of journey and they encourage you on it.
Well, that's what my 20 group does for me, my family now. They always say it's surround yourself with people that you want to be like. And I would, when I first walked in that 20 group, I was down on the bottom and my numbers were terrible. And I looked up to those guys. The last meeting we were in, somebody asked a question and I went on for about 5 minutes answering the question for a new guy in the group. And I was like, wait, who did that? Was that me talking? I didn't realize that. So, I was like, I felt like an expert on something,
Interesting. It just happens then. Boom.
It does.
Yeah. You weren't even shaking?
No. I've got a little bit. And now getting up for about 400 people or so, my leg might start shaking there, but it is what it is.
No, it never goes away. The nerves on all that stuff. It's just something that we face and we let it move past us. We just did an episode of that with my friend Evan from my local Toastmasters club. It's just that fear, that discomfort. Just like anything, when you're doing anything hard, you can move right through it. Man, we could go on, probably talk a lot more about comfort crisis and everything else. Let me ask this, though, before we go sign off on this. What is your favorite takeaway from that book?
Probably the Masogi. And just pushing yourself. I mean, he talks about in there being in the mountains and things like that, and his body and what he could actually push himself to do. My grandfather told me this a long time ago, too. He said, your mind will quit way before your body will. And there's many a times in my life that I've thought about that. Ed Mallett, he one that talks the power of one more, one more rep, one more cusper, just one more. And that's what it is. It's just that one more. So that's the biggest thing I got out of it is just literally just pushing yourself. And when you start feeling comfortable, just keep on pushing.
Yeah, because, and this is my takeaway from that book, we're built for this. We're made to do the hard stuff. And we're happiest when we are. Darrin, on that note, too, I'll say I'm happiest when I get to talk to other people on a journey like this and hear about your goals coming and that we get to be on the journey together. It is progress, not perfection, that we seek. And dude, thanks for doing this with me today. This is a great way to round out our 2024 episodes here as we get ready for what I hope is just an amazing 2025.
Well, thank you for asking me. I felt privileged that you asked me, and first time I've ever done this, and so I'm good now.
Hey, all right then. Well, good job, sir. Hey, and folks, our loyal listeners of Speak Up, please go ahead and send us a message here. Send it to speakup@craigoneil.net. I would love to hear an email from you. That's O'Neill with 2 L's. speakup@craigoneil.net. Any comments for Darrin, anything else, send it that way. I'll send it his way. We talk regularly enough, and I hope we continue to do so in 2025. Darrin, thanks again for being with us today. And hey, my friends, listen, the Aftermarket Radio Network, we have some other great shows on this station. We have Carm Capriato's Remarkable Results Radio. We have Matt Fonslow's Diagnosing the Aftermarket A through Z, Hunt Demarest's Business by the Numbers, Brian and Kim Walker's. They have the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast and Coach Chris Cotton's Weekly Blitz. All of these shows are worthy of some attention. I think these are just some of the best ambassadors in this industry trying to help everyone along on their journeys. And I am looking forward to sometime soon was talking with Mr. Matt Fonslow about a topic that I'm eager to bring to this show. And hey, thanks again to our sponsors. You make all of this possible, and we look forward to more journeying together in 2025. As always, my friends, remember, listen up here before you speak up. Take care.
You've been listening to Speak Up, Effective Communication with Craig O'Neill on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Follow Craig on your favorite podcast listening app and on his YouTube channel. Let him know what you'd like him to speak up about. Craig is all for advancing the automotive service aftermarket.